everybody. Welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan podcast. And we are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, married couple, Kat.
And Paul,
And we're really excited to be here. I'm
we
sorry
are back.
I missed you guys last week. I was down with the flu with a wicked sore throat and couldn't talk.
Yeah, so we couldn't do it because I can't. I mean, I could do it by myself, but you guys are going to be very bored just sitting
But
here
I know you love
looking at
me
me.
and you want me here too.
Yeah, exactly. So we couldn't do it, but we are going to give you a bit of a behind the scenes look at our life.
We are.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking, well, we just had to do it this week because we had to put out a podcast because we're recording this on Saturday, the 2nd of May, and tomorrow, the 3rd of May, dun dun dun, is Paul's
It
birthday.
is. So you'll
And
hear it on Monday, which means my birthday is already over.
yep. So if you want to celebrate and make Paul feel special, please shout him a coffee. The
That would be
the
awesome.
PayPal me link is in the show notes. It's in the Facebook group, the Facebook page, the YouTube notes, and you can email us at
Perpetual Motion Squad 00, that's the number 00, at gmail.com.
yep. So any of those works, and feel free to shout Paul a coffee for his birthday.
Look at you go. All right. Love this idea of her being the host of the show. Awesome. This is why we're both the co-host. We are not the host. Now, we just want to give you a little bit of a heads up.
Uh-huh.
We have just, and I'm going to pass this over to Kat to talk to you all about it. We have just got back from doing something, and
Oh yeah, I
and
should put.
we haven't done any of it onto the page, have we?
No, well, if I did, I'd probably put it in the group rather than the page because the page is all about like the trivia and the podcast,
Yeah.
whereas all the extra stuff tends to go into the group, which is a really good incentive to want to join the Facebook group.
Yes. Now, what did we do?
If you can't find it, just email Paul
And we'll let you know. We'll steer you
and
in the right direction.
yeah. So I answered a call out. I regularly get these emails with call outs for reporters looking for people to interview for different things. And I answered this one about finding love later in life because I just love telling our story. I think
Hmm.
we have a great story. And
Yes.
so do most people who hear it.
That is true. Yes.
Anyway, it turns out it was from this television station network here in Australia called SBS. And we were invited to be on an episode of SBS Insight. I thought I saw that they were filming in Adelaide, and I'm like, oh, because I thought it was like this local show.
Mm.
And it's not, it's a nationwide program, and they film out of Sydney.
Hmm.
And she came back and said, we would absolutely love to have you and Paul on the show to tell your story. And we are offering to pay for your flights, your hotel, your Ubers, and breakfast on Thursday morning to fly you in on Wednesday and then fly home on Thursday. And they even gifted us with one extra Uber so that we could do a little bit of sightseeing before we headed home.
Yes.
And they were so generous and so kind, and everybody was just amazingly nice. And we just had the best experience. So we went on the show, we recorded the show on Love Later in Life. And there was us who met from opposite sides of the planet and somehow found each other. There was a man and a woman who had been married to um, opposite sex partners who realized in their 40s that they were gay and came out. So they got to tell their stories. There was a couple who met in their late 40s and decided they wanted to have kids. So they went through 11 rounds of IVF.
Yep.
There was a couple who met on Tinder and just intended to hook up and be friends with benefits and then ended up
Yeah.
getting married.
Yeah.
There was a couple who had known each other for forever and and they were married to other people and then eventually got married to each other after their partners passed away. And there was a couple who grew up in this. Oh, that's right. The ones who went through IVF, they grew up in the same town, went to the same high school, and never met until 20 years later.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
amazing.
which was crazy. And then there was another couple, an older couple, who um, both maintain independent residences and just get together when they want to spend time together. So it's called living apart together.
Mm.
And I
And
think
then
that
there
was
no, and
everybody.
then there was the elderly couple that she had actually said that she wanted to get married to him, and he
Yes.
said, "Well, I will get married to you when I turn 90."
No, he's okay. So this is the couple that were married to other people and
Yeah,
had known each other forever. They were they're all four of them were friends,
yeah,
them and their partners.
yeah.
And there was one day that she needed something. I think her husband had passed away,
And she needed a partner to go with.
and she needed someone to go to with something. So
Mm.
she called her friend and she said, "Can I borrow your husband?"
Yeah.
Now, I used to do this with my friend's boyfriend when Paul had moved to Australia before I was able to join him. Like I had tickets to the Celtics, I had tickets to the Red Sox, and
I
my
would have
friend
gone to
Jen,
that.
huh?
I would have so gone to that.
I know I would have loved to have taken you, but you weren't here.
No, no.
And so and Jen hates sports. So I would call Jen and I said, "Can I borrow Andy?" So he was my rent-a-husband.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. Andy and I got actually very close as friends, with him able to do this with me. But anyway, she said we went to this event, and I realized at the end of the night I didn't want to give him back.
Yeah.
But she didn't say a word. And then after his wife passed away, they started spending more time together. And she said that she broached this thing that the thought that she wanted to get married. And he said, "Well, I'll get married under one if one of two conditions is met." And she's like, "Okay." And he's like, "First, that you get pregnant."
Which is not a
And at this point,
possibility.
she's like in her 70s, right?
So that
That
ain't
ain't
gonna
gonna
work.
happen. He
Yeah.
says, "Or I turn 90." So
Yeah.
when he turned 90, they got married and they showed these
Yeah.
beautiful wedding pictures. And she actually wore the lovely suit that she wore to that she wore as a bride
On a wedding.
to the show,
Yeah.
to the taping, and it was just a really lovely section.
Yeah. So we did that so once we did the taping and we went back to the hotel, the following morning we went out sightseeing.
Hmm.
And where did we go?
I love how you set me up like that.
I'm segueing you into it.
Yeah,
So
you're just
everyone,
so obvious, though.
because this is the behind the scenes look at our lives, and this is what
I
our
know, but you're
family
not
loves.
doing natural segues. It's very obvious.
This is what our
I
family
need to
loves to
teach you how
hear.
to do that properly.
Oh,
So okay, you cannot go to Sydney for the first time and not see the Sydney Harbor Bridge and the Opera House, which are okay, the Sydney Harbor Bridge, yeah, but the Opera House is one of the most iconic, recognizable structures in the world. It's right up there with um, the Eiffel Tower, the World Trade Center,
the Golden Gate
in New York
Bridge,
City, the Empire State Building and Chrysler Building in New York City, Capitol Records in Los Angeles, the Sears Tower in Chicago.
the Hollywood sign in Los
That's not a
Angeles.
structure.
Oh,
We're talking buildings.
The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Yes,
Uh,
the Golden Gate Bridge would be one. Yep.
Alcatraz.
No,
Alcatraz is not a.
it is, but I don't think it's as recognizable. It's not
Okay.
as obvious. You don't immediately look at it and not have to think about what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's up there in the top 10. Oh, the Taj Mahal
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
is another one. The pyramids of Egypt, the
Yeah.
Sphinx.
Sphinx. Yeah.
So these are all things that you just look at and you're like, "Yep, there it is."
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm a theater nerd and I've worked in live theater for eons, and being in the production studio yesterday or the night before, just it stirred up a lot of, yeah, sometimes I miss my old life a little. There are things about my old life that I really do miss.
Mm.
And actually, as I was heading out of the studio, I stopped and was talking to the technical crew. And I was saying, it's like, yeah, I've worked in professional theater for many years, and when you do your job right, no one knows you exist. And all of them were like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And I said, so I really need to say, I see you. I appreciate you. I honor what you do. Thank you. And they were
Yeah.
like, oh my God, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, the floor manager actually said that his job is being cut in a lot of studios because when you do it right, no one realizes you exist. And so they don't think it's necessary,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're walking along Circular Quay and we turned the corner and I looked up and because I was looking at the bridge off to the one side and I looked up and I saw the opera house and it literally stopped me dead in my tracks.
Mm, it did.
And I started to cry. I had this incredible visceral emotional reaction to seeing the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
And of course we took, all the selfies in front of it and up on the stairs and we actually
Yeah.
went in and went shopping in the gift shop. Um,
She walked up the iconic stairs, which is one thing that you always got to do. You've got to walk up the stairs right up to the very top of where the opera house sits, and you've also got to sit on the stairs
yeah, which I did
because
because I
that's
really
yeah,
needed to sit
you
down
need to
after
do
climbing
yeah,
the stair.
yeah. It's 46 steps from the bottom to the top.
Sure it seemed like more like 446.
Yeah. And then across from where the bridge is, you've got Luna Park, which is the one that's got the big face on it. So we saw
If
that.
you don't know it, Google it because
Yeah.
it's a big amusement park.
Yeah. It's called Luna, Luna
And I'll
Park
tell you
in
that
Sydney.
giant face is creepy as.
It looks good at nighttime.
Yeah, it
So,
does. But I needed to sit down for a few minutes, so I went over and I was chatting with the guy at the Cameron at the information desk and had a lovely chat with him. And I was saying to Paul this morning that I hope that my chat with him makes him appreciate working there just a little bit more for a while.
yeah. Because for a lot of people, when they work at something like the Opera House or, a recognizable landmark that there's a information desk there or whatever, they see it every single day. It's
Mm.
like working at the Empire State Building. You work there every
It's a
single
job.
day. It's a job.
Yeah.
But for people that visit, it's actually an experience.
Yeah.
So with him sitting there in the information desk where you go and say, "Oh, I want to book a ticket to go and see whatever show," or "Where do I go for this? Where do I go for that?" He's the one that you go to.
Yeah.
But for him, it's a 9 to 5. I'm sitting here answering questions. But for people that are coming in from out of town or interstate or overseas, people want to know certain things. So it's a regular day for him. But for someone like Kat who wanted to just sit and talk about it, yeah, let's hope that he sits there and goes, "Wow, that was my job really does matter."
Really is kind of cool.
And it is cool
Well, and
to
I
work at
because
the
I
Opera
was
House.
also telling him about how several years ago, through the department where I got my degree in technical theater and events, I got to be part of a trip down to New York City and got to go see The Lion King on Broadway. It was my second time seeing the show. And then I got to go on a behind the scenes tour of the theater.
Mm.
And the guy who did my tour, I promise we will get to the episode. Um, the guy who did my tour was the lighting designer, and he had been there from concept. So he was like the lighting and technical advisor.
Yeah.
And I was with a group of about 8 people, and we had costume designers, set designers, all these different roles in theater represented. I was stage management and lighting design. That was what I was doing at the time. And he's like, and I know I can dominate a conversation with the best of them. So I was trying to be very respectful and let other people ask questions, but everybody's looking around going, "Oh, that's nice," and not talking. And the guy finally has this feeling like, "Why am I here?" And I looked at him, I'm like, "All right, screw them. What about this? What about this? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? What'd you come up with it?" And he and I just had this beautiful conversation.
And everyone
And
just basically just was on the sidelines.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
was so much fun because every once in a while I'd be like, "Well, how did you do the Mufasa face in the sky and make it look like this?" And he's like, "Well, this is how we did it." And I'm like, "Oh, that's genius." And he'd be like, "No." And that happened
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. I got to go under the stage and see the hydraulics of how they like brought Pride Rock up through the stage and just stuff like that. And it was just amazing.
So essentially, we are not gonna. It won't be our only time that we're going to go to Sydney. But the
No,
next time we go, because it was only a short,
it was just
whirlwind
an
trip.
overnight. It was like
Um,
less than 36 hours.
yeah. Next time we're going to go for a week. Going to stay in a hotel for a week,
Yep.
and we are going to go and do the things that we like. I want to take her to see the behind the scenes tour in Dane Jones Sutherland's theater,
Mm.
and then actually go to see a show in the Opera House.
I want to do the backstage tour of the there's actually two backstage tours you can do at the Opera House. One is like the theaters
Yeah,
and how stuff runs there,
yeah.
and the other one is the architecture tour.
So we're going to do both of those.
So I'd like to do both of those
Yeah.
and see a show. And I'll tell you, it made my heart hurt a little bit that I saw on one of the signs that one of the current shows there right now is the Australian National Ballet doing Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go and do those ones. Then we're going to go to Taronga Park Zoo. We're going to
Hmm.
go and do the Sky Bridge tour up in Centrepoint Tower, where you can actually sit there and go in the
Hmm.
observation deck and see all of
We
Sydney.
would love to do the Harbor Bridge climb, but I don't think either of us can do that
No,
now.
no,
My knee between my knees and his back, I don't think so.
yeah. But we're going to go to obviously Luna Park. We'll go down to Manly. We'll go to Bondi. We're going to do all the things that I want to
Visit
take
the
her to
Boys
see.
in Blue. Okay, if you have never heard of it on YouTube, there are many episodes of Bondi Rescue.
Yes,
Watch it.
that's all she'll say.
It's awesome.
Just go and watch it.
The guys are awesome.
But in
And people are
saying
stupid.
And also, if anybody wants to know, I'm wearing my official Event Horizon t-shirt. If you've never seen Event Horizon, go watch it.
Is that the one with Sam Neill?
Yes, it is.
I can never
Yes.
remember what it's about. I just always remember that Sam Neill's in it, and I can never remember if I've seen it or not.
Oh, we could actually watch Event Horizon
Have I
instead of
seen that?
Blade Runner. No, you haven't, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Was the
All I know
one
is it has Sam Neill in
was
it,
the
and
one
I
on the
love Sam
spaceship,
Neill.
remember?
Huh?
Was the one on the spaceship with Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't think you've seen it.
I've seen, I think I've seen the promos. I don't think I've seen the
I'll
movie.
show you the promo and see if you want to watch it, and if not, then we'll just go to Blade Runner.
Okay.
This week's episode is season 3, episode number 10, The Gorilla Experiment. What did we think about this episode?
It's fun.
I like this episode.
And it shows just how
One,
insecure Howard is.
thank you. I was going to say that you took the words right out of my mouth. That yeah, he's very territorial, and I understand that.
Well,
But yeah,
it's
he's
his
always
first
claiming,
girlfriend.
yeah, but he's always claiming to be a ladies' man. But obviously, he is
Well,
not.
we obviously know that that's a bunch of
Now, also.
bluster.
Just so I just want everybody on YouTube to know, and thank you everybody that's coming to visit us at YouTube. We've got
Mm.
officially 21 subscribers. Now that is, a very, 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 very small amount because there are some people that have got millions of subscribers, but we are so happy that 21 of you keep coming to watch us every
Well,
single
it's
week.
that step toward a million.
It is. Now, throughout
So,
this,
so if you enjoy watching the show, please
yeah,
tell your friends.
yeah, because it'd be awesome to have, 21 more.
And we know that there are more people watching than have subscribed. So if you
Yeah.
enjoy watching us, please subscribe so you get
I
notified when the new one
Yeah,
drops.
because we actually see how many people, obviously, how many views there. And like the last
We can't
episode,
tell if it's you. They
yeah,
won't tell us who it is.
no, but the last episode, because I didn't put up the sick one, but the one before that has had 49 views. Now, that's either that 21 of you are watching it multiple times,
Which I can't
or
believe.
which I can't understand, or there are more of you, as Kat said, that are actually watching it than subscribing. So now throughout this episode on YouTube, not on Spotify, because you guys can't see it, but on YouTube, you'll see something being held up. That a little sign there. That's because there is so much trivia this week. I think I'm going to overtalk Kat, so she needs to put up a sarcasm sign or a trivia sign to
Well,
say
Paul
stop.
always overtalks me anyway.
Yeah,
So
but she
maybe we'll see if that can get him to go, oh, okay, I'm going to have to pause out. Okay, now you pause after you finish the thought you're on, not in the middle of it.
right. No dramas at all.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're playing with our toys already. Pick and choose from the top. Okay, we are going to get into this episode. The
Yes.
episode, the
Yeah,
episode
we've
open.
already been going for like
No,
20 minutes.
I know. The episode
Sorry,
open.
guys, we're having fun. We
We are
missed
having a
doing
lot
this
of
last
fun.
week.
Yeah. So the episode opens up where so we've got Penny, we've got Sheldon, we've got Raj, and we have got Leonard, and they're getting ready. They're getting ready to actually start having dinner, and they've got it all set up on the coffee table. And
Okay,
this,
finish the sentence and then let
okay,
me talk.
on the coffee table.
Okay. Before we really get into this, did you know the episode's original title was The Athens Recurrence?
Why?
It was a warm night in ancient
Oh
Greece.
my God. Really? That's what they were going to call it. I think what they called it, the gorilla
Is
experiment,
better.
was is better. But
Yeah.
the Athens, okay, interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting. Okay, so the guys they're putting food out on the and on the table, and Penny grabs, I think it would probably be like a dumpling or
Dumpling.
something, and she says, "Leonard, watch this," and throws it up in the air and catches it in her mouth.
Wonder how
And
many takes that
I
took.
know, and Sheldon goes, Leonard, she's doing it again. And he goes, yeah, I think it upsets Sheldon when you
Sheldon.
play with the food. And he goes, and Sheldon goes, no, it upsets me because she is not understanding the equitable distribution of the food.
Well, that's when she looks at him with the dumpling still in her mouth and goes, "Oh, what, they put it back so he
And
can see it in her
yeah,
mouth." And he looks at Leonard, and Leonard looks at Penny and says, he doesn't like it when you play with the Sheldon.
yeah, I like that
I
one.
love that line.
So then we see that Howard comes in with his new girlfriend, Bernadette.
Hmm.
Everyone, this is my girlfriend, Bernadette. Bernadette, this is everyone. Say faux shizzle to my
To
new
my nerd
dizzle.
zizzle.
Yeah, and she goes, "Oh, I don't think I can."
I
And then
don't have Howard Street cred. And I would also like to point out that this marks the first time Bernadette sets foot in the apartment.
yes, it is the very first time. So this is where you know, Howard says, "I thought it would be okay to invite my girlfriend Bernadette to have dinner with us."
Yes.
And this is where we find out that no, Sheldon's not overly keen on this because of the fact that there are only a certain amount of food for the certain amount of people that are in the apartment.
Okay. I'd like to point out that when he says, I thought it'd be all right for me to invite Bernadette, and of course, Leonard says, of course, the more the merrier. Sheldon says that is a false equivalency, as more does not equal many. For example, if we were in India and there were 20,000 people in this apartment, we'd be suffocating.
Yes,
However, in the episode The Codpiece Topology, where they are going to the Ren Fair, he happily used the phrase
the
and is conflicting himself.
the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is where where Penny says, "Oh, that's okay. What we'll just do is we'll just put it all in together, like family style, And even Sheldon says, "Well, why don't we just while we're doing that, why don't we just put all our hands behind our back and
And
start
have us
eating?"
a good old fashioned eating contest. Now, I'd also like to point out
Yeah.
that that eating contest that he's quipping about, he actually had in the reentry minimalization
Yes,
a
he
few seasons
does.
later.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Oh no, blueberry up the nose, blueberry up the nose, snort it. I'm sorry,
That is actually, and it's
I
amazing.
can't imagine snorting a
But
blueberry.
I always love that episode, and when we get to it, it's obviously there'll be a little bit of trivia on that one. But that scene where they're about to do the pie eating
Yes,
contest, and they've got their hands on. Kaylee Cuoco actually looked at the camera and was trying to get Chuck Lorre to cut the scene, like, I don't want to do it.
yeah,
And she looked with absolute dread towards the camera, and
yeah.
that's one of the many times that Kaylee Cuoco
She does that a
actually
lot,
does
actually.
that a lot. She does actually break the fourth wall, but this one she looked directly at camera, and when the scene was over, Chuck Lorre had gone there to see if everyone was okay. There was no dramas, and she said, "Did you not see me looking at you to say cut it? I don't want to do it." And he said, "Well, it doesn't matter. You had to do it anyway because it's
Yeah.
part of the episode." But yeah, she did actually do the I don't want to do this. look at the camera.
Yeah.
So we see that Sheldon goes into the apartment, goes into the kitchen to get himself a drink, and this is where they welcome Bernadette to sit down. Bernadette goes to sit down and she sits in Sheldon's spot, and everybody says, "No, no, no, not there!" And she sort of like yells, "What? What's going
Why
on?"
not? And they're
And
like,
this
that's
is where,
Sheldon's spot.
yeah,
And she's like, well, can't he sit somewhere else? And
and
they're all like,
Sheldon looks around from the refrigerator as if to say, "Excuse me, sit somewhere else."
and
And
before he can say a word,
yeah,
Penny launches into well, no, he has to sit there because in the summer it creates a nice cross breeze between that window and that window, so he's not too hot. It's centered at an angle to the TV where he can still look and talk to people, but it's not too much to look at,
make the TV look distorted.
yeah, and goes through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And Sheldon walks over and he looks at Penny. He's like, "There may be hope for you yet."
So as we're going through with this scene,
But I love how Penny also like sits there and goes, "Wait a minute, how did I know that?"
I know. Well, that's almost like when she was in the when she had the fight with the girl in the laundry room, and
Hmm.
she was trying to
Oh, when
tell
they put up their
put up
shields.
the shields, and she goes,
Yeah,
"Where the hell did that come from?"
yeah.
So obviously, the boys are having an effect on Penny, which is great. It really is. Um, But so as we're going along with this, everyone's sitting having dinner, whatever, and I think it's a really nice addition for Penny because Bernadette actually, basically remarks about Penny's shoes, and I like it how as they're talking about it, this is where Sheldon looks and goes, "Well, my mother was right. Hell is real," because they're talking about shoes. And I
And
think that's
Howard
good.
looks at him and is like, "Oh, that's all right. Let the women folk natter."
Women folk chat.
Yeah,
And it's like, and I look at that Penny, and Penny goes, "Women folk," and Benedict goes, "Oh, what he says sometimes is supposed to be
it's a joke.
humorous,
Yeah.
but it doesn't come off that
I
way.
don't really find it funny, but he loves it when I laugh.
He just lights up when I laugh." And
And then he started in with the utero Americans.
yes, that's right. And then one of the things that I find interesting about this episode is that as they're talking, everything that's going on, this is where that Bernadette seems really interested in Leonard's work,
Mm.
being a physicist, and she basically says that all she really gets to do is to do stuff with yeast, you know?
Well, that's the thing. She was asking about what he does, and he's like, "Well, I have a model on my computer. Would you like to see it?" And she says, "Yes."
Yeah,
And they get up and walk over there, and she says, "This is really cool because the most exciting thing I get to play with is yeast."
yeah. But the thing is that I find interesting is that Sheldon even says, yes, Leonard's work is as groundbreaking as third graders growing lima beans on wet paper towels.
Mm.
Nice, Sheldon.
Did
Nice. Very
did you
nice.
ever do that?
No, we never did that at
I
all.
didn't either.
Our school was not progressive. The funny thing is that, and I don't know when dissecting frogs was outlawed, but we never did it in Australia.
They did do it in my school. I just
Mhm.
managed to avoid that class.
Yeah, we never did it in biology class. We were never allowed to do that. We never dissected whether any animals
I took
whatsoever.
chemistry instead of biology
Oh,
for my science
yeah. I
credit.
mean, I did biology, but that sort of stuff or growing stuff, or it was never we never did that.
Yeah.
We obviously I was not in a very progressive school or a very thoughtful school, but then
I just
again,
always thought that was me. I always loved that scene in E.T. when E.T. is drunk and has that psychic connection with Elliot,
and Elliot's
and
drunk.
he frees all the frogs, and
Yes,
E.T.'s watching The Quiet Man with um John Wayne.
yes.
And it's the scene where she opens the door to leave and he grabs her back and he
And
kisses
pulls
her.
it back and kisses
And
her.
Elliot steps on the kid to be tall enough to kiss her.
Kiss the girl that he
And
likes.
all the
Yeah,
frogs are and all the girls are cheering that the frogs
yeah.
are running away.
Look, in all honesty, even if they had said to us that we were had to dissect a frog, I wouldn't have done it. out of
Yeah, I
control,
I would have had a really hard time with that.
regardless of whether the frogs are dead or alive. And I would not want to do it with I wouldn't do it, period. I don't
Yeah.
believe in that.
Yeah, I think that's been traumatizing for millions of children over the years.
Yeah, so I'm glad we never ever
Yeah,
did
I'm
that.
glad I never did it.
Um, so I like it when Bernadette goes off to, and the thing is that when Bernadette starts to get very interested in Leonard's work, even Penny has that face like, why is she interested in Leonard's work? So you've really got two aspects here of jealousy or
Yeah.
starting to get a little bit angsty because you got Howard
A little insecure.
insecure and Penny's insecure because hang on a minute, you've got a girl interested in you know in
So
Leonard's work.
Howard
Why?
cannot separate and know that there's a difference between being a friend and being interested in the work and being attracted to the guy.
Yeah,
Because and I'll get to the line later, but he just always assumes that no one's interested in his work unless they're interested in him.
exactly.
And he can't conceive of any other configuration of that.
Yeah. And I like this scene as we get to the end of this scene is that so when Bernadette goes over to Leonard to look at the model on his computer, Sheldon looks at Howard and goes, I like your shoes. Where did you get them?
No, he says, Howard, your shoes are delightful. Where did you get them?
And he goes, Bazinga, I don't care. And
Yeah.
looks over at Penny and Penny opens her mouth with a mouthful of food. And
Yeah.
and Sheldon just got that seriously look on his face.
Yep.
So the next scene we see is Raj and Sheldon are in the apartment playing Mario Karts.
Yes.
And this is where Penny comes over, knocks on the door, comes over, and wants Sheldon to do a favor, ask a favor of him.
Okay. Now, before we leave Mario Kart,
Hmm.
there are no cows or penguins in Mario Circuit in Mario Kart, although they may have been in reference to other circuits, namely Sherbert Land and Moo Moo Meadows. This fact is referenced when referring to Sheldon's lack of skill at Mario Kart and any other driving for that matter, because he claims he got stuck behind a tree, in which he does blame being stuck behind a tree, a cow, and a penguin.
Right. So, okay, knowing Sheldon or knowing Raj or just playing the game, you don't want to just do one circuit and that's it. So when you play the game, you've got and I've played Mario Kart before. You've got a randomizer at the top. So
Uh-huh.
you can hit randomizer and it'll just spin until it finds a track for you. Or you can take the randomizer off and just go and select
And
which one you
collect a
want to
track.
do. So they could have actually hit the randomizer and it just could have given them the first track would have been maybe the Moo Meadows and he could have been with that. Then the next one he could have got stuck behind a penguin, and the one that we saw was the best out of three, and he
Oh,
and
okay.
he lost that one because I mean, and we've got Mario Kart. I've got to get the actual console for it,
We have
but
Mario Kart
yes, we do Mario Kart 64.
on
Um,
the Xbox.
nope, on Nintendo behind me. I've got to get the actual
Oh,
console.
um,
But when you play it, you can't just play it once because it's so much fun. Because between throwing banana peels at people, or throwing bombs at people, or throwing stuff that slows them down,
okay,
it's so
that does
much
sound
fun.
like fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I query though. Okay,
Hmm.
so Paul loves playing GTA. And one of the big things about GTA is driving vehicles around the maps. He's made me try this a couple of times, usually like in the airport when there's nobody around.
Hmm.
I cannot drive straight to save my life. I constantly crash. No, even if there's nothing to crash into, I will find something and crash into it. I cannot drive a car on the Xbox. Okay. I wonder if I were able to play something like Mario Kart and the guys had these little steering wheels.
Hmm.
I wonder if I'd do better with that because I can drive a real car.
Yeah, no, I've done it with the steering wheel and I've done it with the controller.
Uh-huh.
Even with the steering wheel, you've got to hit the buttons to throw things at people. So when
Well,
you go,
I'm
right,
not talking about throwing things at people. I'm meaning just drive down the track and keep it on the track.
because you got to go left, you got to go right, you got to go left.
Yeah, but it would be easier with a steering wheel
Um,
than
okay,
the
so the
stupid
one you're
button.
so the one that we've got, the 64 is on it's only on controller. The one that they do with that is the Wii.
Yeah, I know that.
We don't have the Wii.
We're
And the steering wheel is part of the Wii.
we're
So
talking conceptually here,
yeah,
not
conceptually
reality.
maybe
I'm
you
just
could.
thinking I might do better at it if I had a steering wheel. That's all I'm saying
Yeah,
here.
maybe.
He's
Maybe you
so
would be.
literal.
I'm sorry. I need to be literal. I need to know things. You can't be like that. I am 53.99. It's the eve
Yes,
of my
you
birthday,
are.
which will show everybody just how old I am. But you're only as old as the man you feel, so Kat is always going to be eternally young.
Yeah, well, because
Are you
I'm
looking
five
for an
years older than
emoji
he is. Yes.
and you can't find an emoji that you
No,
like?
it doesn't have the one I want.
Oh,
It doesn't have the face palm or
the
the
eye
eye
with eye
roll.
roll? Oh, sorry.
Damn it.
So anyway, after we see that Sheldon unfortunately loses at Mario Kart, Penny comes over and asks Sheldon for a favor, but also asks Raj can you give us a moment, some privacy? And I like it how Sheldon goes to Raj, go away. And Raj's like, and
The hell?
he goes, well, yeah, I understand too. It's rather rude, but this is what she wants. So she sits down next to Sheldon and says that she would like him to teach her a little physics so she can understand Leonard and surprise him. And I like it how Sheldon comes back
He's
with,
like, well, wouldn't it be easier to surprise him? Because I think he would be delighted if you cleaned your apartment.
um, and as Penny says, well, you could make, and of course, Sheldon says, Penny, this seems like a very big undertaking, and my time is both limited and, it's just, I've got so much
I
other
have.
things.
She's like, well, weren't you just planning to sit around and watch TV and play video games?
Yeah. And
Touche.
then she says, well, okay, maybe you can make it like an experiment.
Hmm.
And Sheldon compares it to teaching Coco the gorilla sign language.
Okay, so Penny's suggestion that Sheldon should treat teaching her physics as an experiment because he's like a little physics. He's like, there is no such thing.
Yeah.
So she gets his attention with that. He's like, oh, okay, that could be an interesting way to approach this. Sheldon subsequently names the experiment the Gorilla Project after Coco the gorilla who learned sign language.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Sheldon says that Coco learned to understand over 2,000 words and not one of which had anything to do with shoes.
Yeah.
But in reality, Coco was familiar with the word shoes.
Okay.
When Coco met Fred Rogers, whom she knew from watching TV show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, she asked to help him take off his shoes as she had seen him do many times at the beginning of the show. In the episode the bath item gift hypothesis, Leonard also mentions that the gorilla learned sign learned he mentions Coco
Yeah.
and that she knew sign language.
Yeah.
But I just
So
love that when Mr. Rogers came, she's like, take off your shoes.
yeah. So I like it how Penny when he says that, he'll teach her a little physics, you just know this is going to be a bad idea.
Oh, hang on one
Be-
second.
Because because unfortunately Sheldon doesn't do anything by half measure.
I missed a trivia.
Yep.
So when they were having dinner in the apartment, well, actually, we are still having, well, no, the previous scene when we were having dinner in the apartment,
Yeah.
Sheldon mentions his mother while Bernadette and Penny finish their girly chat about shoes.
Hmm.
We all know that Sheldon's mother does not appear in this episode.
Yeah.
And at this point, Bernadette doesn't meet her until three seasons later when she appeared in the Zazie substitution, the rhinitis revelation, and the maternal combustion.
Yes.
Apparently, Laurie Metcalf was not available to have a guest appearance in the episode, but it also wouldn't have made sense for her to have a guest appearance, to be
No,
honest with you.
exactly. So I like it how this scene, after we leave there, we're going over to Caltech, and I like it how it is bringing Bernadette basically to show his work to her.
Sorry, guys. Snuck up on me. So, yes, it's to show her the old salt mines,
Mm-hmm.
but very cool trivia moment.
Okay.
David Salzberg is the technical consultant for this show.
Okay.
He also appeared in the final episode of Young Sheldon. If you remember, when Sheldon first arrived at Caltech, a gentleman came up and asked him if he was lost.
I remember that. Yes.
That's David Salzberg.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So if you look closely at this scene, as Howard and Bernadette enter, he was the first person on the left. Look for the guy in the brown sweater vest at the first table. That's David Salzberg.
Okay.
And he's walking around introducing her to everybody as this is my girlfriend Bernadette. See my girlfriend Bernadette.
And I like it how when they're walking through, my girlfriend Bernadette, and she goes, "Who are those people?" And he goes, "I got no idea."
But he likes them knowing that he has a
As a girlfriend.
girlfriend.
And I like it how he walks over to and they go to sit with Leonard, and he goes, "Oh look, it's Howard and his girlfriend Bernadette." And this is where Bernadette again starts engaging Leonard in his experiment.
No, not yet. Oh no,
Really?
that's right. Yeah, no, no, no.
Yes, it
Sorry, you're
is.
right. You're right. You're right.
And
Mm.
Leonard says, "Well, it's up and running, and it's going to be available the day after tomorrow." And she goes, "Well, I'd love to see it." And he goes, "Well, you're welcome to join me if you
Yeah,
want."
come on by.
And this is where she goes to Howard. Doesn't that sound amazing? And he goes, "Like Hanukkah in July." And she goes,
They have that?
"They have that?" And then she goes, "Oh, you got me again." And she starts to giggle and everything like that. And she's eating some ice cream.
It's
A
yeah.
yogurt. I think it's
Yogurt.
either
Yeah.
ice cream or yogurt. And as she's eating, she goes, "This isn't low fat. This is fatty, fat, fat." And gets up and says, and Howard actually says to her, "Could you get me another napkin, hun? Oh, sweetie." And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, thanks, hun." And he walks away. And this is where Howard immediately goes, "Okay, what is your deal?" And he goes, "What?" And he goes, Inviting another girl, another man's girl, to see your experiment."
And he says this because I practically invented using fancy lab equipment to seduce women. Now,
Yeah.
an example of this is from last season when he
Yep.
met Dr. Stephanie, played by Sarah Rue, and invited her back to his lab to drive the Mars rover in
On
the Lizard
Mars.
Spock expansion. And of course, she put it into a ditch.
Yes.
Actually, no, she didn't.
She
He
didn't.
did
He
because
did
she never actually got to drive it.
because he couldn't get it out of the
Yeah,
ditch.
that's right.
Yeah, smart move. But then again, see, okay, so I don't understand this, right? The Mars rover, do you remember in the scene in the episode where Howard was going to use the Mars rover to throw the pitch in the base in the
Hmm.
LA Angels
Yeah,
game?
yeah. Hmm.
And he says, "Okay, here's the pitch," and the thing is going so
So
slow,
slow.
and Bernadette's like, "Why is it going so slow?" And he goes, "Because I didn't think about this, logically. How the hell did he get it in the ditch going that slow? And even if it was in a ditch, he could have easily got it out. It goes so slow anyway."
It probably was set to go faster there, I would think.
Well, I don't know whether
He probably brought it a little too close to the edge and it slipped.
yeah, that could be true. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot
So
of reasons for that.
So I like it how, Leonard says, "What is wrong with inviting Bernadette to see my experiment?" And he goes, "Wow, you really are a piece of work. It's not enough that you got the prom queen. Now you want the chair of the decorating committee as well?"
Yeah.
And of course, Leonard's looking at him going, Okay. And he goes, "Yeah, you don't want to mess with me." And he does this like, look,
Wait,
th-
well, okay, he stands up, he
that's
puts
a
his
very
hands on the
aggressive.
table, he gets right in Leonard's face, and he's like, "Because I'm crazy."
And I like it how Leonard goes, "And I believe you."
Yeah.
So the next scene we see out of there is Penny is showing up for her lesson on time, well rested and eager to learn, as in Sheldon's notes, because Sheldon is typing away on the computer and she comes in. And, and as he says, apparently ignorance is bliss when it comes to Penny and what she's about to learn. And he says to her, "Well, so where's your notebook?" And she goes, I need a notebook." And he goes, "Well, how are you going to take notes?" And she
How
goes,
are you going to be ready
"I'm
for
going
the
to take
tests?
notes?" Yeah, like that.
Well,
He goes,
how are you going to study for review for the tests?
she goes, "There's a test?" And he goes,
Tests,
"Tests." Yeah.
plural.
And I like it how he gives her a notebook and he goes, "It's college rule, a college rule. I hope that's not too intimidating for you." Side question.
Uh-huh.
What is a college ruled notebook? What is it?
Um,
Is it any different than a regular ruled notebook?
okay. As far as I know, you only have two kinds of ruling on a notebook.
Okay.
One is college ruled, which is that like,
The thin line down.
yeah, that like standard,
Okay, but is that
yeah.
but that's a regular book though, with no rule down the
Someday
side.
you'll let me finish a sentence.
No, I'm just asking you.
It's just that standard spacing.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And then you have like the notebooks for first graders when they're learning how to write that have the two lines with the dotted line in the middle.
Yep. Okay.
And I don't know what that's called, but
Yeah.
those are the only
Okay.
standard rules that I know of.
So what about the one that there's no rule down the side? That's just a regular
That's just blank
notebook.
page.
Just regular notebook.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently and apparently she's got tests that she has to do, which is ridiculous. I mean,
Yep.
all she wants to know is a little
So,
physics. Now, all she wants to know is what Leonard does. But Sheldon decides that no, you're not going to learn a little physics.
well,
You are going
Sheldon
to,
doesn't know how to do
no,
anything by half measures, and he
you,
thinks that she wants to understand
so
physics.
that means that she is going to basically go or embark on a 2,600-year journey from the Greeks to Isaac Newton to Niels Bohr to Aaron Schrödinger to the Dutch researchers that Leonard is currently ripping off.
Yeah.
And I like it how they start to they start the
Oh, okay.
lesson.
So you have college and medium ruled,
Hmm.
which is the standard for high school and college students.
Yep.
Wide ruled, which is elementary, middle school for those with larger handwriting. Narrow ruled, who basically is like college ruled but more narrow in between.
Yeah.
Dot grid, graph and squared paper,
Yeah,
the
I know graph
Cornell
paper.
method, which specialized ruling that divides the page into three sections for notes, cues, and a summary area at the bottom.
Hmm.
French ruled is a complex grid of horizontal lines and subtle vertical lines, and manuscript handwriting paper, which is that two lines with the dotted line in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Um, so I like it how Sheldon starts. And he starts off with, "It's a warm summer evening in ancient Greece. You've come back from the laundry or the agoya, and
Mhm.
you look up
And
in
he's
the,
or the Agoya.
yeah." And she goes, okay, she starts writing it down. And he goes, and you look up into the sky and you notice the stars and you see what some of them are glistening. So you name them Planet Ace. And then she puts up her hand and he goes, what? And she goes, can I go to the bathroom? And he goes, what? Can't you hold it? And she goes, not for 2,600 years. So she rushes off to the bathroom and he goes back to writing his notes on the computer. And he goes back to Project Gorilla, entry number 2. I'm exhausted. I mean, he's only just started this thing.
Yeah.
Now, the next scene we see, Howard and Bernadette are starting to get Bauchikawawa in the bedroom, in Howard's bedroom. They're
Mm.
fooling around and they're interrupted by his mother. His mother has just come back from the aqua aerobics class and she's trying to tell Howard that there is an Armenian lady that actually accidentally pulled a muscle in her
I don't
pulled a
remember.
muscle or whatever
Doesn't
and
matter.
and she had to be taken to the hospital and so this is where because obviously, Howard wants to get busy with Bernadette, and they're kissing. And at one stage, he puts his hand underneath her shirt, obviously to try to get second base to get her bra off.
Yeah, it was under
And
the back of her shirt.
yeah, and she's like, Howard, it's at the front. And he goes, oh, that makes sense. And as he goes to do it, this is where his mother comes in, as in the house, and he comes up with a brilliant idea. Oh, can we have lamb stew for dinner? And she goes, lamb stew? I'd have to go all the way to the grocery store for that. And he goes,
Yeah, but I really got a hankering. Please,
yeah.
Ma.
And she asked him a couple of other questions like, what sort of peas do you want? This and that. So,
Always LeSueur.
yeah. And she goes, well, if they don't have LeSueur, and he goes, well, then the regular peas. Just so she leaves the house. So you know that so Howard and Bernadette have got maybe, depending on how fast or how far the grocery store is, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes to get the whole
Hmm.
Bao thing done. So this is where the you hear the phone, like her phone, start to like vibrate. And she
It
goes,
obviously is like a text
yeah.
message.
And she says, I'll just put it on silent. I don't want it to vibrate. I'll put it on silent. And he goes, well, and Howard goes,
I'm already
I'm
vibrating.
already vibrating. And she goes, oh, that one I got. That one I understand. And this is where she reads a text and she says to Howard, Leonard says that you might not be happy with me if I go to see his experiment tomorrow. And Howard, you know, as Howard tries to say, no, no, no. What he needs us to do was to ask me whether it's okay for you to go. And she's like, so you've got it. So I've got now got to get your
I need your
permission to go.
permission.
And he goes, no, 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 no. You don't need my permission.
Leonard does.
Leonard needs my permission for you to go and be at his experiment.
Yeah.
And this is where obviously you see that Bernadette ends up by storming out of the house. And this is where Howard's trying to call her back, saying, I don't want to eat lamb stew with my
With my
mother.
mother.
And I like it how, as he turns to go back into the house, he goes, damn, I was this close to the briar line. Poor old Howard. He
Oh,
just,
he brings it on himself.
he
I have
can't
no
get,
sympathy for him
he
whatsoever.
can't catch a break.
Well, he doesn't deserve one, in my opinion.
Yeah. So back in the apartment, Sheldon is still trying to teach Penny physics, but she doesn't understand anything and starts to cry because she thinks she's stupid. And this is one of the great little lines that Sheldon says, which is Sheldon says that there's no reason to.
I don't cry because people are no.
No, he goes.
Yeah.
He doesn't think that that's no reason to cry. One cries when one is sad. He cries because other people are stupid, and that makes him
Makes him
sad.
sad. Yeah, that's one of the best lines of the show of the entire
Yeah.
series.
And you've got the whiteboard and you've got a whole lot of different uh algorithms and stuff and equations that are on the board. And Penny is really and she's like saying, I'm stupid, and she goes, Sheldon,
Well, no, no, no,
I
no, no. Okay, so what's happening is he's got this equation
yeah.
and he's like, this and this and this, which means,
And she goes, 4. And he goes, no. She goes, 7. He goes, no. And she goes, Newton? And he goes, no, we've just went through this. And she
and
goes,
she's like, I'm lost. You lost me. And he's like, all
and
right,
he goes
where
to
did I
go,
lose you? Somewhere in Greece. And he's like, all right, well, it was a
yeah,
balmy night in
in
ancient
ancient
Greece.
Greece. She goes, oh, balls. And all she wants to know, because she says, okay, I just want to know what Leonard does. And he goes, okay,
Good
Leonard,
question.
very good question. She goes, thank you. And he goes, okay, he works with subatomic particles. He wants to know how they work.
Hmm.
And she goes, okay, that doesn't sound too hard. And he goes, well, of course it's not too hard. That's why he does it. And she goes, okay, this is what I needed to know.
And
And
I just want to be able to talk about it with him.
yeah, so this is where Sheldon starts the entire lecture all over again. Because as he's going through and he's like, okay, it's the Dutch researchers that Leonard is ripping off.
But of course, when she gets to when he mentions Newton, she's like, "Oh, is that what Fig Newtons are named after?"
Yes,
And he says, "No, it's a small town in Massachusetts.
yes.
Actually, it's a decent sized city. It has 13, it's composed of 13 villages. And when this episode was filmed, Newton, Massachusetts had about 85,000 residents.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know where Newton, Massachusetts
Yeah, I
is.
think we've been through there. I think we
We have
drove
been
through
through
it.
there. Yes,
Yeah. It's a pretty little town.
it is. It's a
Sorry.
lovely little town.
Decent sized city.
City. It's like saying Sydney's a nice little town.
Well, it's like Northampton, where I'm from. Um, we call it a small town, but no, but Northampton is actually very adamant that it is incorporated as a city, even though there's only about
Mm,
22,000 people there.
yeah,
It's adamant it is a city.
I will honestly say, and I think Northampton is absolutely beautiful.
It is.
Um, but no, that's not a city, guys. Sorry, that's a small little town.
It's a beautiful city, and I love it.
That would be like Harndorf up in Adelaide saying we are a city. No, you're a town.
Well, okay, guys,
There's one main
Google,
drag.
huh?
In Harndorf, there's one main drag, and that's it.
Listen,
That's like Northampton.
yeah, but if you get a chance, Google Northampton, all one word, Massachusetts, and look at the images that come as a result because it'll show a bunch of them at in like the fall and it's
Yeah,
just stunningly beautiful.
it is
I have
very
to say
pretty.
sometimes I miss living in Northampton.
Yeah, it is a lovely little
And we got married
town.
there.
Yes, we got married in Northampton, but it is a lovely little town. Sorry to Massachusetts. And I've actually, before the end of the episode, or before the end of the podcast, I want to check to see who's got the number one position as far as listening.
Yeah, you should
Whether
always
we,
check these things before we get on
no,
so
no,
you
no.
have them
I
ready to
just thought
go.
about that now.
I
See,
know, but you should have a list of things to make sure you have ready to go when we start the podcast.
I make sure that I'm wearing pants. That's enough.
You can't see your lower half, so it doesn't matter if you're wearing pants.
I can find out whether I got pants on. I have pants on.
Good.
And see, so far, and I've made it out of bed and I've got pants on, so
I'm
everything's
wearing
good.
coffee shorts
Fantastic. I've got
or
black
shorts with
short,
with cups of coffee on them.
fabulous. But I've got pants on, so I've made my day. So the next scene we see is Howard goes to Leonard's lab, very angry that Leonard apparently text blocked him with a message to Bernadette. And he says, there we were, practically naked, about to devour each other, and you text blocked me. And he doesn't want to look petty and a jealous douche.
Which
And
he is.
basically, and he admits that he is basically. And Bernadette arrives and says, "Oh, what are
What are
you
you
doing
doing
here?"
here?
And he goes, "Oh, I'm here to see Leonard's experiment too." And she goes,
Mm-hmm.
"Really? You thought that it was stupid?" And I like how Leonard goes, "Really?
Really?
You thought my experiment was stupid?" And this is where he says about the fact that maybe, he was wrong. Yeah, he shouldn't have been that way with Bernadette, and he shouldn't have actually said that she needs his permission to go and see another man's experiment, and he was just a little bit insecure and this and that. And this is where Bernadette looks over at Leonard and says, "Do you think I should forgive him?" And he goes, "Well, I wouldn't, but then again, he didn't call your experiment stupid." And this is where she goes, yes.
No, go ahead, finish
Oh,
the thought.
and this is where she actually says that, you know, come here, tushy face. Because she just can't stay angry at him, and
I
like
love how she basically calls him a butt face.
yeah, and I like it how Leonard goes, "Oh, tushy face, I've got to put that up on Twitter right
Twitter.
now."
Now, before she forgives him,
Yeah.
Leonard does say that Howard is afraid of loud noises, clowns, and nuns. But if you
Yes.
remember in the Terminator decoupling, when they were taking the train up to San Francisco, Howard
Oh,
starts talking to two nuns
nuns.
out of speaking to Summer Glau.
Oh my God. Oh, that is an awesome bit of trivia.
Uh-huh.
That is an awesome bit of trivia. Because he turns around to the nuns and says, "So where are you girls headed?"
Hmm.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is a great bit of trivia.
Yeah, I like that one.
But I like it how, when you know, um this whole thing ends. I mean, look, I understand Bernadette is trying to give, him the I don't know, I guess she's just basically saying, okay, well, he doesn't really know what he's doing right now, so I'm just going to give him that, sense of, all right, you're a bit stupid, but that's fine. I'll forgive you. But honestly, I mean, she's a mature woman. She doesn't need to have permission to go
Yeah.
and see somebody. She's not going to go and jump into bed with Leonard. She's not attracted to Leonard. She's attracted to Howard.
Right.
So, but see, then again, there's the same
But
thing.
Howard is insecure because this is his
Yeah.
first real life alive girlfriend.
Now I find it very interesting. You've got that situation where he is insecure with Bernadette. Now Bernadette is a very attractive girl, don't get me wrong. But then you got someone like Penny who could basically draw any guy in.
Hmm.
Howard has wanted her. Raj wants her. The only person that doesn't want her is Sheldon because we don't even think that he's got male genitals. But
But
Penny has had,
in the first episode, it almost was like came across like he was flirting with her
yeah,
when she admired his whiteboard.
exactly. But the thing is that Penny has got no reason to be jealous of Bernadette because she knows that if she got rid of Leonard, she could go and find anybody,
Yeah.
regardless of whether he's a muscle-bound douchebag. The fact is, she can get anybody. So I don't know why she is so insecure with Bernadette. Now, is it a woman coming into her space of the male population because she's got three guys that she knows are after her? Why is she so? nervous about it.
Okay. I think this, okay, so if you go back to the dead hooker juxtaposition where they had got the new neighbor upstairs,
Yeah.
she was very insecure because she was a woman like her who was pretty and blonde and flirty,
Yeah.
and the guys were responding to that. So she was jealous on that reason, on that
Okay.
level.
No. Yeah.
This one is not so much that she is jealous of Bernadette
Mm.
or wary of her coming into her circle. I think it's more, well, if he starts talking to her and having these kinds of conversations, he's going to realize how stupid I am and dump me
I mean,
because I can't talk to him about smart stuff like Bernadette can. And he'll want to go and find somebody who can keep up with him better intellectually.
okay, there would have probably been a time when I was, um, okay, you and I intellectually are, regardless of whatever you think, we are miles apart. Okay. And I'm being very, very honest and very transparent. Um, I have not finished high school. I did not graduate from high school. I finished it, failed it miserably, didn't graduate. Never done that. Never gone to college, never gone to university. I went basically from my last year of school, um, failed it miserably, went straight to the workforce. You're a
We
college.
offered to try and help him get his GED, but he didn't take us up
I,
on it.
I just, I don't know whether I've got some sort of, I can't retain a lot of information with regards to studying, and I've never been good at it. Whatever.
If you were
Um,
more of a reader, you wouldn't have that problem.
I've tried that. I've tried reading. There are things that'll grab me that I'll be interested in. Like I've read every book of Kiss. I've read the Jim Morrison stuff. I've read stuff about the mafia and stuff like that. I've read stuff about outlawed motorcycle clubs. But there needs to be something that really, attracts me.
Mhm.
Um, you're a college graduate.
Mhm.
You are way more
University graduate.
university, college, same scenario. You
No, college is a 2-year program, university's 4.
okay. You are way more intellectual regarding that. You're a reader. You are very eloquent the way you speak. You've got a lot of knowledge with regards to certain things that I don't have knowledge about. There would have been a time when I would have looked at you and you probably would have looked at me and gone, no, can't hold a conversation to save our life. As I've gotten older, I've got to the point now where I'm like, if you don't like me for me, too bad. You
There's the
know,
door.
there's the door. I'm not going to try and be somebody that I'm not. I have tried throughout my life to try and adjust myself to be with people that I thought I wanted to be with to try and make myself more interesting. Put it this way, one of my girlfriends, she was a university graduate, or she was going to university, and she wanted me to be okay. If I had have come to her if I'd have met her in my last year of med school and I was going to be a surgeon, her mother, her father, and her would have absolutely adopted me on the spot. But because I was a regular person, didn't graduate high school, just had a job, her father didn't overly like me, her mother tolerated me, and funny enough, after her 21st birthday, going into university, I was dumped because I wasn't going into university. That's how shallow she was.
Now, that being said, I want to publicly state this.
Hmm.
Paul is an introvert. Contrary to um, current activity, he
What
is
you
a
see
shy
now.
person.
Yeah.
Um, when I booked this interview with SBS, I was like, we just get to tell our story. This is an awesome opportunity. We get to go to Sydney. How exciting is all of this? Didn't really think too much about it. And it's like I knew Paul was a little comfortable about it, but I thought it was because I'd given him the flu right before we left. Both of us
Mm.
honestly felt like crap and didn't really think that much of it. And it wasn't until afterward, when I happened to overhear him talking to the producer, that I realized just how far out of his comfort zone it was to do this interview. and how much he didn't want to do it before. Okay, now fast forward, he had a great time and is really glad that he did it.
Yeah.
But up until the actual filming, he really didn't want to be there. He was hating this idea. He didn't want to do it. And, uh, excuse me, as he said, if you just ignored the cameras, and they were really good about having them kind of in, they didn't have any light where the cameras were, so you couldn't really see them that well. They were just shadows moving around. So if you
Mm.
just ignored that, it was just a bunch of people sitting around talking.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. It was so much fun. It was really interesting, but I just am humbled by the fact that he loves me more than his discomfort and is willing to step out of his comfort zone to do something that he knows would have meant a lot to me.
Yeah. I didn't want to ruin it for her.
Yep.
But I tried to even explain to the producer, I said, and then we'll get back to the rest of the episode, I promise, guys.
We're almost there.
Um, we're almost there. That yes, I am a massive introvert, and my mother used to say to me, in a public situation, I if I'm the wallflower in the corner, I'm having a great time. And my mother would always say to me, if I could say, okay, so she would say, if I could get you to sit in front of me and I painted something on your face, which is absolutely nothing, I'm pretending I'm doing it. And I say to you, right, absolutely nobody can see your face. Nobody knows who you are. Do not look in the mirror because I don't want you to upset the makeup that I've put on you, but you are unable to be seen the real
Mm.
person. Go and enjoy yourself. I would absolutely be the life of the party because you would not be able to see me.
Well, it's like at Halloween when she painted you with Paul Stanley's star.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
had a blast.
I had a blast. When I went to a Halloween party dressed as Brandon Lee from The Crow, I had my face painted. I had a ball because guess what? Nobody could see me.
Yeah.
But take the makeup off and put me back into that situation.
Yeah.
I'm the wallflower sitting on the corner, having a great time because I don't want to be, because I'm nervous of being me.
And
Now, a lot of people,
I'm the one coming over and sitting next to you and talking to you because you look lonely.
yeah, you are. Now, obviously, there are people watching YouTube now going, yeah, but you seem very, very confident in talking that. Yeah, guys, you can
That's
see
because
me.
he can't see
I
you.
can't see you. If you get the 21 subscribers in a room and get me to talk like this, ain't happening. Sorry, because I'm too shy to do that. So yes, my extrovert right now is because I'm sitting in a camera
In a controlled
in a
environment.
controlled environment, looking at Cat talking through the monitor,
Yeah.
but I'm not talking to you guys face to face.
But
So that's different.
literally from the day we met, Paul and I have been like this,
Yeah.
talking with each other.
But that's why I went to Sydney to do it. Yes, I was almost hoping for a cardiac arrest so I didn't have to go for myself. But I will
Well, he
say
was
that,
sick and I offered to cancel it and he wouldn't let me. So,
yeah, no, because, okay, even though I was sick and I wanted probably to stay home, because maybe the sickness wasn't as bad, whatever, it was just that I just didn't want to ruin that experience for Kat. So I'm like, you know what? Regardless of whether I'm sick or not, let's push through, let's go and do this. And afterwards, I had the best time.
yeah, we did. And
Was it nerve-wracking when I was, in the studio being interviewed? Hell yeah. If and when the episode drops, we're gonna put the link and I'll make sure we put the link in the show notes
yeah,
and in the YouTube thing so you can click on it and you can go and watch the episode and watch us do it. And you'll see it that it is very nerve-wracking to be in a studio, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
I didn't think it was nerve-wracking. I thought it was fun.
because you're an extrovert.
Actually, I'm not.
I'm an
I
introvert.
am by nature an extremely shy person. And at a very young age, I realized that to have the life that I want, I cannot allow this to control me. It took a lot of years and a lot of force of will to become the social butterfly that I am now.
Okay, so you know why I say it was nerve-wracking, and
Mm,
we will get to the end of the episode. Um, do you know why I say it's nerve-wracking?
mm.
Because for me, it was like I'm in a classroom and I'm going to be called on by the teacher.
Oh, and I was the kid who always wanted to be called on by the teacher
Yeah.
because I knew all the answers.
And I'm sitting next to the kid who's always knows all the answers, and the teacher knows that I'm the dumbass and wants to ask me a question. So I knew at every point of that show, the teacher was going to look at me and ask me a question. I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, I hope I don't screw up my answer."
But I have to say, honey, you spoke very well and very confidently. You would never know to look at you that you were feeling anything like that.
Oh, under that, I was sweating. I wasn't sweating bullets. I was sweating like atomic shells. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
and if anybody's wondering how Oliver fared while we were gone,
Yes, how did Oliver go?
because this is the first time both of us have been gone overnight.
Yes.
He's always had one or the other of us at home.
Yeah.
A friend of mine came over and house sat and stayed the night with him and fed him and looked after him. And apparently he had quite the ball. She took him for a walk and gave him
Essentially,
treats
Oliver.
and cuddles.
Yeah. Essentially, Oliver looked at us and goes, "Okay, you're back, but where's Auntie Michelle?"
Yeah,
No, but he does love us being home now.
yeah. But no,
Now he's settled. So
yeah, we were very grateful that she was able to do that and that he was fine with her being here. But
yeah,
yeah, he's very glad that we're home.
Oliver's world makes sense
And
again.
he can tell that my flu was kicked back up again because he keeps trying to get me to go sit down and watch movies.
Yeah, which I'm going to do. And
Yeah.
also that means like tomorrow, just in case anybody wants to know what I did for my birthday or what we are doing, we're going to go to this bar. It's called
It's a microbrewery.
microbrewery. It's called the Little Bang Brewery Company, which we went there once and I fell in love with it. So
Hmm.
we're going to go and have lunch there. Cat's driving, so I'm going to have some microbrewery beer. Um, if she can't afford it, I'm going to buy myself a t-shirt being there because I want to buy a t-shirt. And then we're going to go for a walk through Adelaide City and just look around and at a few
Assuming our
things.
feet are working by that point.
Assuming our feet and
Because
our
we
legs
we
and
did
hips and everything.
we did just about 10,000 steps on Wednesday
Yeah, I was going to
and
look
on
at.
Thursday over 14,000. And so our lower legs and feet are still recovering a bit from
Yeah.
all of that.
So Wednesday when we were there for me, because I take bigger steps, I did 5,970. And when we were walking around Sydney and the Opera House, 10,602. So not too bad. So we walked our butts off. So
Yeah, we did.
yeah, we had a great amount of time, a great amount of fun. And as I said, we're going to go back to Sydney and we're going to do a lot more stuff. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. But yeah, we'll put some photographs.
Yeah.
Kat's going to put some pictures of what we did up on the page of the group,
In the group.
in the group. So if you want to find out what we did and see it, then come and join the group because it'd
Yes,
be awesome
definitely.
for everyone to see.
Now, getting back to the episode, I think
Yes.
this might have relate to something earlier. I'm not sure exactly where it goes, to be honest with you, because it
Okay.
was a week since we watched the episode. But ever since the Lizard Spock expansion,
Hmm.
Sheldon now understands the phrase, "Oh, snap."
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does. I think it was when they were talking shoes, but I don't recall exactly.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. No, no, that's right. That's right. He was saying about that, and Raj whispered in his ear, and he goes, I like the oh snap, but I'm uncomfortable with your breath in my
Moist breath
ear.
in my
My
ear.
ear, yeah. So the last part of the episode, we're having dinner next time in the boys' apartment. Everyone's sitting around, and you know, Bernadette is exclaiming to Raj about how his experiment was, and that it was really fascinating. And Leonard goes, "I'm glad you enjoyed it. So many people don't, and aren't interested in, what I do." And this is where Penny looks over at Sheldon, and Sheldon gives the old,
Okay, I'm trying. Give me 1 second to bring up the
"Oh yeah,
I just want to find I didn't
yeah,
think
you
to
want."
grab her
Yeah, I,
uh
I was hoping you'd actually get that, what she actually said.
quotes. There we go. Um oh yeah, because when she said I would just want to be able to talk to Leonard, and he says, "Why can't Leonard teach you? Because I want to surprise him."
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
But she comes like as I said, Sheldon gives Penny the okay, I've taught you this phrase, go ahead. And this is where Penny actually starts to talk to or tell Leonard what she's actually learnt. And
right,
I'm hoping that
okay.
you find the Because I don't know
Nope,
whether I
they don't have it.
they don't have the quote.
Nope.
Wait a
Nope,
minute.
they
Are you
have
on
the one.
IMDb?
Yeah, they have the one about her going on about Sheldon's spot twice,
Uh, yeah, I'm looking to see.
and they've got Coco in here twice.
Nope, here it is.
Oh, okay.
So
And what do
Penny,
we know? I know what do we know with this? We know that Newton was a really smart cookie. Oh, is that where Fig Newtons come from? No, Fig Newtons are named after a small town in Massachusetts. Don't write that down.
so the
uh,
quote, there is a quote on IMDb. You want to say it, or do you want me to say it?
I need to find it first.
So if you go to IMDb and go to the
Yes,
episode, go to quotes and click on it. It's
that's where I
down the very last one.
am. I was looking there and I didn't see it.
It starts off with Leonard Hofstadter. Most people aren't that interested in what I do, and then comes
Okay, well,
Penny.
that's not the last one.
Okay, so it's the second one, third one. Sorry, you got Sheldon
From the bottom or the top?
from the top. One, two. It's the third one from the top.
Ah, there it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the lead into it?
So Leonard says, "Oh,
No,
I'm."
before Leonard. Why did Leonard say that?
Because Bernadette says, Raj, you should have seen his experiment. It was great. It did this and that. And this is where Leonard goes, "Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Most people aren't that interested
Interested
in what
in
I
what I
do."
do. And Penny says, actually, that's not true, Leonard. In fact, recently I've been thinking that given the parameters of your experiment, the transport of electrons through the aperture of the nanofabricated metal rings is qualitatively no different than the experiment already conducted in the Netherlands. They're observed, and Leonard's like, what?
You got that? Really? What?
And then Penny says their observed phase shift in the diffusing electrons inside the metal ring already conclusively demonstrated the electric analog of the Anurov-Bohm quantum interference effect. And everybody's like jaw on the table, right? She's like, that's it. That's all I know. Oh, wait, Fig Newtons were named after a town in Massachusetts, not the
Not the
scientists.
scientists.
And the world reasserts itself. And there really is that feeling like, okay, now the world is back on its axis.
Exactly. The episode then goes black, and that is the end of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
love that one.
Penny's monologue at the end of the episode, we assume is fed to her and memorized by Sheldon, or fed to her by Sheldon and she memorized it.
Yeah,
It's highly technical, but essentially means that your experiment is unnecessary as the important results were already known and discovered by a Dutch team.
yeah,
This may refer to the paper Magneto-Electric Aharonov-Bohm effect in metal rings, published in 1998 and indeed performed by Dutch researchers. And I'm not even going to try and say the names because I'll butcher them.
yeah. They are rather interesting names, I would say.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I remember one time speaking to someone and the name on paper looked like Vodagel
yeah.
and it was pronounced Vochehel.
Oh my God, really?
Exact, which is why I'm not even going to try.
No, I don't think so. That would actually probably be a good idea not to try and
Yeah.
do. So we've actually got 4,300 and 4,346 downloads
Wow.
of our episodes.
Wow.
Mhm.
And how many subscribers?
65 plus on Spotify.
Okay.
Breaking up the ratio. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe I'm doing something right or doing
Okay,
something
if you're
wrong.
going to go through where people are
Okay,
listening
no, no, no,
from,
no, I'm not.
hold on,
Yeah,
just once, let me finish a sentence, please.
all right.
If you're going to go through the people or people are listening from, please only do the top five. You don't need to do the list of 27.
I'm not doing the list of 27. Um, the gender, we've got 17.4% male listeners,
Mm-hmm.
79.3 female listeners.
That's because they like your lovely accent.
No, I reckon it is you. I think it's the
Mm.
fact that we've got a lady that's doing the episode that they are interested in listening. Oh, I am so okay.
What?
I have to apologize for Vietnam. You guys have been taken over.
Okay, by whom?
The United States listeners, 59.1% of the listeners are coming from the United States. Then Vietnam, Germany, Canada, and Indonesia.
Okay.
So, and I'm still looking for Australia, not on the list.
Well, you're never
Thanks,
appreciated in your
Australia.
own land, right?
Thanks, Australia. Well done. Good work. Nobody in Australia is making up even the top 50.
Although I know that we do have listeners in Australia because I
Yeah,
have
we do.
friends that follow.
Yeah, maybe they're the ones that are watching us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Never know. Yes, so I really like that episode.
Mhm.
I just think that both Bernard, I mean, look, I understand that Howard is very insecure
Mhm.
because Bernadette is, a very attractive girl, and it's the first girl that's really shown him interest, and he's going to hold on to her through thick and thin. Um, don't understand Penny's insecurity, really don't.
Well, okay. Um, I honestly think it's because she's afraid that he'll realize that she's dumb. I mean,
Yeah,
she's just not smart in that way. And
yeah.
I think that's what intimidates her. It's why Priya was a lawyer, Stephanie was a doctor. Um,
Oh yeah.
what's her name?
Is
Um,
is a scientist.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Oh, one of
she,
the girls was a comic artist, comic book drawer.
yeah, I actually thought she would have been a good match
I
for
thought she
him.
would have been great for
Yeah.
Leonard. I mean, I,
I
look,
mean, don't get me wrong, I love Penny and I'm glad they're together, but
yeah,
I think the artist would have actually been a seriously good match for Leonard.
I'm leaning towards. I mean, I hate Priya. I would have. Okay, so if it was out of everyone, I would
Hmm.
have leaned towards either Dr. Stephanie or the artist.
Stephanie was too insecure. She was too much like Howard.
Too clingy.
You very.
All right, so then it would be the artist then.
Yeah. Where the artist was just her own person. She was very cool and she took him into other places than he normally inhabited.
Yeah,
But they had a lot of common ground together. They were a good Venn diagram.
yeah, yeah. Leonard and her would have got along really well.
Yeah. But I think that Penny's insecurity stems from he's not gonna it's like the same thing you keep saying to me. You're so smart. Why are you with me?
I know.
I think that's Penny's insecurity right there.
See, what I do, everyone, to try and throw her off the possibility that she's smarter than I am, I just keep throwing sushi at her. That'll that'll keep her with me. Sushi.
See, and this is the
I get
thing
sushi tomorrow.
is, and I think like me, Leonard is like, look, I love you. I want to be with you. Why does
Mm.
this have to keep being an issue?
Yeah. It
Why do
it
we have to keep going there?
yeah, most people are insecure with the way that they are with their respective partners. There's
Because
something about,
when
I'm contradicting myself as well.
yeah.
Because there I am saying, well, I'm the person that I am, and if you don't like me, well, then that's it. But
Hmm.
then, okay, but I'm not willing to change to try and make you fit
No.
into my world. We fit together in our own respective ways.
But if I can finish this sentence before it falls out of my brain for the third time. In a future season and episode, Penny decides to go back and go to community college.
Mm.
And she doesn't want Leonard to know because she knows that he doesn't think she's as smart as he is. And she wants to do it on her own without him taking it over.
Which he does.
Yeah, which is why she didn't want him to know in the first place.
Yeah, because obviously we see in that scene in that episode, in a later episode when she does do that, is that he goes from that to see if you see what courses will transfer you into a 4 year in college, and it's
Hmm.
like I don't want to do that. I just want to do this little bit, and that's it.
Yeah.
But even when she's got a lab partner and she gets a text message from her lab partner who's a guy. And then Leonard says, "Oh, are we still going together? Still going out? Why are you with this? Text this guy back to say I'm with my boyfriend.
Hmm.
And then the text message comes back. Oh, did your boyfriend say you had to write that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, I'm also thinking back to Dave Underhill,
Hmm.
who was the something prize winner.
The MacArthur Grant,
Yeah, the MacArthur Grant winner that Bert wins later
the
on down
both
the
wins.
road.
Yeah,
And Leonard gets, because he's always been secure in the fact that he's the smarter one
yeah,
and that she's not, and that she usually is attracted to muscly guys, not smart guys.
Yeah.
So that's always been like his special little niche with her. And
Mm.
then you get Dave Underhill, who is a genius
Yes.
and in science, and she's like, "Oh, I love all this stuff," and he's like, "The hell,
Since when?
yeah,
Yeah, and even Leonard says you'd have to drive a railway spike through his head just to get to where I am at. According, basically, it's almost like, to do that, it was almost like taking him back to, a stage where Leonard is at. So,
yeah."
but I think
But
everyone in their own respect is very insecure. I don't,
yeah,
I mean,
everybody has their own little quirks and
do we
insecurities.
think that I know, I was gonna say, is Raj insecure, but he is
Oh, very. That's why I
when
can't
he's
talk to women.
when it comes to women. Yeah. Which I'm glad that that's coming to an end very
Thank
soon.
God. I can't believe they let it last 3 seasons.
Well, okay, so it's got to be pretty close that we're going to be meeting Amy pretty soon.
Yes, it is actually.
So shortly after that, I think it's about another 6 episodes before we
Um,
are actually able to get
Let
him
me see if
to
I can
break that,
find it real quick.
because I know it's getting close. We really do have to get to that point where the selective mutism is gone because it's ridiculous.
Right, season, because I do believe it was season 3.
Yeah.
And did you realize that Amy Farrah Fowler was not um meant to be a recurring character? She was meant for a very brief, same with Bernadette. She wasn't meant to be there permanently.
Well, I'm glad they I didn't realize that, but I'm glad they kept them because it's a nice dynamic to actually have everyone, because that world of Sheldon, Howard, Raj, and Leonard, it would have been very hard to keep going as a show because there's not much that you can do within that small group. You needed to branch out. That's why they added Stuart, they added Denise, they added Bert, they added
Yeah. I have to
Barry.
say, one of my absolute favorite episodes is coming up, season 3, episode 22. It's about how Leonard and Sheldon became roommates, the
Yes.
flashback episode. I love that episode.
Now, also, before we finish this episode, I want to reach out to all the family, and this is predominantly people in America because you guys are going to get it way before us. If anybody has seen or will see, okay, whether it's been released or whether it hasn't, when tries or fails to save the universe, when an episode, the first episode drops or the second episode drops, can you please email us and let us know what your actual feelings are about it? Because
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on it, whether people are saying they don't think that it's going to be able to take off, that it's not going to be as strong as Big Bang, that you've got secondary characters trying to be the main
Well, I
characters.
think if they approach it as not trying to be a continuation of Big Bang and they treat it as its own universe, it might stand a chance.
Yeah, they've hinted that there might be a chance that some of the old stars, like obviously like Kaylee Cuoco, Johnny Galecki, Jim Parsons, are going to be making cameos throughout the
Yeah,
series.
that would be fun.
But nobody has conclusively said, yes, we're going to be doing that. I mean, Kaylee was interviewed a couple of weeks ago about it, and the interview was like, so are you going to be, have you been approached? Would you be? And she just gave that like smile, and she's like, that wasn't a no. And she goes, no, it was a smile. I cannot say whether I am or
Yeah,
I'm
and
not.
they're probably under contract not to comment
Not to
one way or
say it.
the other at the moment. Now, Amy Farrah Fowler's first
Yeah.
appearance is in this season finale, episode 23.
Yeah, okay, so we've got
That's where Amy comes in.
right, so we've got another 13 episodes
Yeah,
until she comes in.
yeah.
Right, so as I said, if when you do see the episode
Mm.
of Stuart
Stewart
Fails,
fails to save the universe.
please let us know because I'd be really interested because it's going to take us a while. It'll take us probably a good 6 months before we get it. And look,
I'm assuming Craig will probably be the first one to send that to us.
well, Craig, if you're the first person to send it to us, please let us know because that'd be awesome. Because obviously we've got all of Big Bang, we've got all of Young Sheldon, we've got all of Mandy and what's his nuts, and then we're gonna have to do this one. We are gonna be here for about the next 10 years, guys.
Yeah.
So you got us for the next 10 years. So hopefully
Yep.
by then we'll actually get to be recognized on YouTube and get our plaque.
That would be nice. That would
That
be
would be
fun.
awesome. We actually need I think we need 1 million subscribers for the
I
for the
don't know.
gold
But
plaque.
just a reminder too that if you
Yeah.
would like to be a guest host, just email us at.
Perpetual Motion Squad 00, that's the number 00 at gmail.com.
Now we had a couple who wanted to come and join us and we were setting it up and then they vanished. So please reply to the
Reach
email?
reach out to us again. We'd
Please
love
reply
you
to
to
the
come back.
email because I sent one the other day saying, "Did you still want to do this?" And
Yeah, so if you
so
do want
hope
to join
everything
us,
is okay and that nothing drastic happened.
yeah, but if you do want to join us for an episode, please let us know. Now, what was our food count this week?
A lot of food:
Okay.
Chinese takeaway,
hmm
pizza, Caltech lunch, a cook at home, and snacks.
Holy crap, that's a big
Yeah, that was a
food.
big food episode.
And do we have a question of the week?
Who do you think you're dealing with?
I know I'm dealing with the man. I'm dealing with the person who knows what's
Okay,
going
this
on.
week we're taking a poll.
Oh, okay.
Sheldon is your teacher or Howard is your wingman, and you must
Ooh.
choose one.
Okay. That is the question of the week.
Yeah,
Howard is your wingman or Sheldon is your man? That is so hard because you can see the pitfalls of both of them.
both. Yeah. I think you'd probably be safer with Sheldon as your teacher. I would take Sheldon as my teacher rather than Howard as my wingman because you'd never get a date with Howard as your wingman.
I'm going to be interested to find out what the answers
What
are
would you
from
take?
everybody. As I said, there are so many pitfalls on that question.
Oh, pardon me.
Okay, look, I'm just going to go with Howard.
Okay. I had a feeling you would.
I'm going to go with Howard because,
Sheldon would embarrass and shame you too much.
well, Howard's going to do the same thing to me as well because of
Yeah.
what he wears out. Because remember
But then
that
again, you might get a date because he's so obnoxious, they'll look at you and go, "Yeah, you're cute and nice and quiet."
maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I'd choose Howard. So, be interested to find out. And look, we are going to do a mailbag episode in the next couple of weeks, and that'll be the when we do a back-to-back episode. So you'll get two episodes on the same day. It'll be the mailbag and our regular episode because looking back at all the episodes that we've done, the mailbags are the lowest, and obviously it's not fun for you guys to sit there and listen to us go through all the answers. So, but we are going to do a separate episode of the mailbag.
Actually, maybe we should do a poll and say, "Do you even want to hear the mailbags?"
Well,
Find out if there's even any interest.
there are, I mean, there are. Okay, so just quickly before we do wrap up, um, Christine actually sent me a reply. Where was it? Was it? There you go. Um, this was on the 22nd of April, so this should be included in the mailbag, but I'll just do it now. She said, just listened to your podcast episode on the adhesive duct deficiency and heard you mention me. I was the one who said I would be good at Gilmore Girls trivia. Yep. I was so excited hearing my name. I love listening to your podcast so much, and I'm so excited whenever a new episode drops. So,
Aw.
so thank you, Christine. That's awesome. So yeah, so we do. So I believe that people do actually. Oh, there we go. It's, love emojis. But yeah, I do believe that people do love to hear their name, and they want to hear that we are actually taking the time to read all the emails and all the responses. So
Yeah, okay.
we are always going to do a mailbag.
Okay.
So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to do two episodes back to back. So
Time for crazy crits.
cool.
Chuck Lorre Productions number 270. Jillian had a urinary tract infection again. That sentence appeared in my head a few days ago, just as you see it above. I have no idea what it means other than the obvious, and I don't know anyone named Jillian. Regardless, I thought it'd be interesting to begin a vanity card with it and just see where it goes. Jillian had a urinary tract infection again. Her doctor liked to abbreviate the condition to UTI. She liked to abbreviate it to TMH, too much humping. Regardless, the road back to vaginal happiness was always the same: cranberry juice and abstinence. Thankfully, her boyfriend Dudley was always very understanding. He'd just smile, hold her in his arms, and say, "Well, babe, when one door closes, another one opens up." She'd always giggle and blush when he'd say that, but deep down she wished she had the courage to cover his mouth and nose with chloroform-soaked rag, and then while he was unconscious, snip off his testicles with the little scissor she uses to groom her schnauzer. All of which explains why the next sentence popped into my head recently. Nobody sang Bee Gees songs on karaoke night like Dudley. Except that he would
Uh,
have had to have been snipped before his voice changed perfectly to completely to get the high notes.
yeah, like Barry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a great vanity card. I like that
Only
one.
Chuck Lorre, man.
Yeah. So for a 21-minute episode, how long have we gone so far?
I don't know because we were on talking before we got on, but I'm thinking about an hour 20.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry everybody, but we've actually missed being here last week, so we have to double dose you this week. So
Yes. All right. So anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it. And I should have said this at the beginning. I'm sorry. But I really appreciate the people who've been reaching out asking if I've been feeling better.
yeah,
Still
that's
not
lovely.
100% yet. I'm gonna have a rest day today and then take Paul out tomorrow. But yeah, thank you everybody for reaching out and sending the love. I really appreciate that. And remember, if you want to celebrate Paul's birthday, please shout him a coffee. The link is in the notes, or you can email us at
Perpetual Motion Squad 00 at gmail.com.
awesome. So we've enjoyed being here with you today. We will see you next time for season 3, episode 11, The Maternal Congruence. And
Yes.
in the meantime, we'll catch up with you at the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye everyone.
Nutcase.